Your turn, Yugi boy.
What is up, guys? This is Linthio coming at you with an updated version of my Herald of Ultimateness deck post 2016 April ban list. Thank you so much to Konami for finally releasing my Advanced Ritual Art. A lot of people said Linthio is free. I am free because I can now play this card at 3, finally. But yeah, I'm just so happy that we can finally play this now. I'm just kind of ecstatic. It brings back a lot of memories. And yeah, without further ado, I'm going to go straight into the deck profile, because I'm sure a lot of people have been waiting for me to do this. So without further ado, we have the 3 Herald of Ultimateness. Before I go any further, I would just like to give a shout out to Zeramus5555. Shout outs to him because me and him have been subbed to each other since the very early days, way before I was below 1,000 subscribers, and he's another Herald of Perfection fanatic as well. And we talk often when we have new builds out about different, the ratios and all this stuff. So big shout out to him. His link to the channel's down in the description below. Please go check him out and give him a bit of a hand, because he's he's a bit of a lower YouTuber, and I think you should have more more subscribers, really. So yeah, so shout outs to him. He's inspired me to go back to the Spirit build, because I think it's actually really good for this format. So as I said, 3 Herald of Ultimateness. I'm not playing Perfection or Preparation of Rites, simply because I don't really like it. I've tested it and it kept dead drawing when I just had 1 in the pre-prep, so I left it out, and I just feel really comfortable having the 3 Ultimateness as my targets, and that's it. 3 Manju, 10,000 hands. I'm playing a ritual deck. It makes sense. And yeah, cards just kind of staple. I don't really say too much about it. I shouldn't really, anyway. Next up, we have 3 Gale Dogra. I'm playing the Turbo build, dumping the Herald of Arclight. You play 3 because, you need to see it as early as possible. It's nice to see. It's a dead draw, but what can you do? It's a shame it isn't a fairy. But look at it, that couldn't be a fairy, could it? But yeah, so 3 Gale Dogra is the way that I have this build going. 3 Megami to complement that as well. We're playing Advanced Ritual Art, so, of course you have to have the Megamis, so that is all nice. Next up, we have the 3 Scepter, Star Sephira Scepter. Reason why I'm playing this is simply because I think these are some of the best fairies to come out in a long time. Because while we have these, we have the 3 Sovereignty, of course. And these cards are just so good, being able to net you so much profit, so much pluses, so much destruction as well, bring out some pretty good cards like Deltaros. Overall, it's just really solid, really great. It helps if you have Herald on the field as well, because it means that you can stop any effects going around unless it's a Solemn Scolding, and you can just keep getting draws as well, because you're going to draw like 3, because you're going to draw 2 off the Sovereignties draws, and also the Deltaros pop as well at the end. So yeah, it's really, really good, and overall I just really do love them. I try and fit them into each Herald profile as much as possible, simply because they are some of the best ones that if you don't have Herald out, it means that you don't just die in the water. So, back to the Spirit build. It's been a while since we saw this. Been a while! Rooster Teeth fans will get that. And it's simply because I think the artifacts aren't as good right now, simply because, some decks don't go into the extra deck as much. Monarchs don't really care about it. And with only 1 moral attack, it kind of really, really hurts. So I've just got them at, I've just taken them out, but made way for the Spirit Engine. So Nikotama, if you don't know what it does, it basically allows you to normal summon another Spirit monster. So if you normal summon Nikotama, you can normal summon another level 4, say Aratama for example. Or if you do have any of the tributes, you can just tribute this straight off if it does require 1 tribute. So it's a really, really nice card. I don't play any of the tributes in this current build just because it's really difficult, but I do plan on making a Spirit, dedicated pure Spirit deck profile once the new set drops, once the new Mirror Force comes out, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, so Nikotama is just an incredible card, and let's not forget, when it's sent, its other effect, when it's sent to the graveyard and you have another Spirit face up on your side of the field, you get to draw a card. So I'll go into some shenanigans with that a little bit later on. 2 Aratama. This guy is your basically Stratos for spirits. When he's normal summoned or flip face up, you can add a spirit monster from your deck to your hand except himself. So normally you would think, hey, why are you not running 3? Well, I used to run 3, but then I cut it down to 2 because he's not a fairy, he's a dark, and he kind of goes against the Herald ways, if I'm honest. He's good because obviously you can keep filling your hand with fairies and extra negates for Herald of Perfection, or Herald of Ultimateness, sorry, but Unfortunately, he does clog. So I've decided to keep him at 2, and actually 2 is working really well. So yeah, shout outs to Aratama. Next up, to Izami. This card's just really, really good. So the reason why it's good is you basically, when it's normal summoned, you can flip summoned, of course. You can discard 1 card from your hand to add 1 spirit card from your deck, from your graveyard to your hand. So the way that this works, you can have a little tiny loop with, if you have a Nikotama in grave and you also have a Nikotama in hand, you normal summon this, discard the Nikotama in hand, select the other Nikotama you have in graveyard, and then add that to your hand, and then other Nikotama that's just been discarded's effect will go off, allowing you to draw because you have a spirit monster out. It doesn't work if you discard and then add the same one, because it has to be in the grave to resolve once the chain's finished. So 2 of these is really good, but it also means you can just recycle your spirits and maybe get some dead cards out your hand like Gale Dogger and such. Next up, 1 Azora Priest. Completely forgot this card even existed, I kind of ashamed to say, and Zeramus reminded me of this. Azora Priest is a really nice card, especially with Honest, just to pave way. It's basically Spirit that can attack everything. So it's really, really nice, and yeah, just in general, really solid card, and 17 to attack isn't too shabby. Next up, Reiatsu. I really like this card, I really do. Basically, when it's a normal summoned, or flip face up, you reveal an extra spirit in your hand, and then you can return 1 attack position monster on the field to the hand. So basically, you can set it if your opponent doesn't expect it, they attack into it. You reveal a spirit, like this, for example, and then you return something back to the hand. So it's a nice stun, and also the downside to this is that you cannot special summon during the turn you activate the effect. But the way that you do it is you have, for example, you use it with Herald of Perfection out, and you basically just block your opponent from building up big boards, and yeah, it's just really nice. So Reiatsu, really good card. Next up, Yaksha. If you notice these 2 guys, they're kind of opposites because the attack and defense is opposite. So a 19 beta, really nice. Normally I have more in this side. And basically you just bounce a spell or trap card on your opponent's side of the field back to the hand. So really nice for baiting out like your Solemn Scolding and all that stuff. Really good card for that, and just in general a nice beta. So yeah, you can side more, and I normally do. Next up, we have 2 Supremo, even Superior. I don't know if I was going to say Superior, but yeah, Supremo Christia. 2 Outlaw Christia, really good card, obviously. Nice with the Gale Dogger combo, because if you don't know, you normal summon Gale Dogger, send 2 Herald of Arclights to the graveyard, then you activate Advanced Ritual Art that you've obviously searched to send 2 Megamis to the grave, special summon out the Herald of Ultimateness, and then you have 4 fairies in grave to special summon Christia. So it's a nice little combo, that, just 2 card combo. But unfortunately, Christia really clogs, and I had to cut it down to 2 just because I didn't have enough space for this current build. But either way, it's just a really good card in general. Obviously, it's Christia, so yeah, 2 working well. 2 Honest, this is the next thing now, Konami. You need to put this to 3, just for me. I'm sure people won't mind. There aren't that many great lights, are there? I guess Blue Eyes, but I don't know. But yeah, so Honest, obviously staple. Don't really say too much about this bad boy. Next up, onto the spells, we have the 1, we have the 2, and what has been missing for so long, the 3rd Advanced Ritual Art in all their dual terminal glory. So yeah, Advanced Ritual Art is the main way to summon out your Herald of Ultimateness, and I don't really say too much about it. It's just adding the 3rd one adds a surprising amount of consistency. So it's really, really nice to see this card back. So again, thank you, Konami. 1 Day Peace, just for some extra draw power, is a nice card. 1 Upstart Goblin. So obviously Upstart Goblin got hit, and it kind of hurt a little bit of the consistency of this deck. But whatever, what can you do? So I still advocate for the 1 Upstart Goblin here, because it's still draw power. It's not bad. It still isn't bad. That's really what I want to get across. And having the 1 Upstart is still nice in here, just to get an extra draw. You never know, it might replace itself as a fairy and an extra negate for Herald of Ultimateness. So yeah, the 1 Upstart Goblin is still really nice. 1 Raigeki to clear the board of any annoying monsters that Herald of Perfection might be stuck, or Herald of Ultimateness might be stuck behind, or anything like that. If there's a bit of a deadlock, Raigeki's still good. And then finally, simply because Solemn Scolding is a card, and Solemn Warning and Solemn Strike, we have the 2 Royal Decree. Now 3 is too cloggy, so don't run it at 3 in my opinion. You can side a 3rd one if you really want, if you think you're going against a trap heavy deck. But 3, Royal Decree is just a bit too much for me. So 2 is nice. The way that I play Royal Decree is I don't instantly set it, because that's not really the best way to do it. You want to make sure that you can protect in some way, shape or form with your Herald of Ultimateness. So being clever and holding on to it for a bit is an important thing. And because if you just willingly set this and recklessly go, yeah, I'm going to set this, and then they just twin twister it, you're kind of in trouble. So making sure you can make a proper Herald of Ultimateness play is important to keep this card alive and generate a lock. So that's the main deck, 40 cards as always. Next up we have the extra deck. So the 1 Deltaros, this is your Star Seraph target, and also Masquerade. Deltaros is a standard, especially when you're running the Star Seraphs, because it's just easy popping and plussing. And also Masquerade, because it's good against Cosmos. So, you know, they're kind of one of the top decks right now. So, yeah. Next up, the other rank 4s. We have the Steel Swarm Roach. Still a decent card, in my opinion. I really do like it. So, if you do have one, make sure to just look at the meta and look at this card, and you'll add it up. The 1 Daigusto Emerald. Emerald's still a really good card. Bring out your normal monster if you really want. But just in general, being able to recycle stuff back in is nice. The 1 Silent Honor Arc. Again, don't need to say too much about that bad boy. The 1 Rebellion. Good just to punch over big monsters and just get an extra attack, you know, is always nice. The 1 Giant Hands. Giant Hands are thing, so having this and Herald of Perfection out is always, Herald of Ultimateness out is always funny. But yeah, it's kind of overkill. But it's always still decent as well. If you can't do anything first turn, it's not terrible to have that. The 1 Starleaf Paladynamo, we run mainly lights, so yeah, important. Aratama and Nikotama don't work with that card, so make sure you remember it. The 1 Castel, really nice card. As always, the 1 Dweller. Dweller's important in this format simply because Burning Abyss were basically untouched on the list, so really important. Also, Yaksha is a water, as well as Izami. So it's important to note that they are waters, so they do get the boost. So just little things like that are nice and can win you certain games. Next up we have a Luminescent Night. This is to stop any breakthrough skills targeting your Herald of Ultimateness. Breakthrough skill isn't used all that much anymore, so it's kind of good because people just opt for strike. So that's why we have the Royal Decrees, but yeah, you need him. Rhapsody as well, just to remove any problem cards. You use this with breakthrough skill just to get rid of them out of the grave before you do anything. And yeah, so solid card. 1 Fairy Cheer Girl. This card is just really great in this deck because it normally allows you, if you play it right, nets you 2 draws. So you'll normally have a Nikotama on this card and hopefully another Spirit on your side of the field. You can detach a Nikotama, same thing with the Izami loop, to draw a card, and then if you have another Spirit out, Nikotama, draw, you know, it works out. And then finally we have the 2 Herald of Arclight, because you don't want to run 3 because you can't feasibly do it with Gale Doggerah, because Gale Doggerah requires 3,000 life points and you only have 8,000, so you can only feasibly activate it twice. So that's why you only have 2, and if 1 gets negated, then, you know, what can you do? But that is it, guys. Finally, I can do a Herald of Ultimateness deck profile with 3 Advanced Ritual Arts. So I want to know what you guys think down in the comment section below, what you think of the deck. Do you agree that it was finally time for Advanced Ritual Arts to come off the list? So, as I said, let me know down in the comment section below what you think of the deck. Make sure to leave me a like, comment, subscribe, and I shall catch you guys later.